Welcome back. Today we are going to discuss June 2021 current affairs based question. This will be the last part, that is a part 6. In this part we are going to cover 10 questions. These 10 questions cover subjects such as polity, geography, governance and international organization. Okay, and we are going to discuss we are going to start this discussion with the 51st question. Till 58th question we have already completed the discussions in last 5 parts. Okay, let's start with the 51st question. With reference to the census of India, which of the following statement is or correct? Okay, why I have asked this question? Because it is in news. Because last census, when it has happened in 2011, after every 10 years the census should be released. Means the next census should happen, it should take place in 2021, but due to corona it has been delayed. Okay, that's why it is in news. The census act was passed in 1948. Okay, there are some features for this act. What are the features? See, when someone is coming to your home, how they take someone will come to your home. Okay, someone will come to your home and ask all the details of your home. Okay, you may feel that, why should I give my personal details to someone? Okay, you may not give. Okay, but if there is a law says that you should give, then you will definitely will give. Okay, then so what is that? It is a obligation on the citizen to give their personal details. Okay, citizen has followed the obligation. Okay, now the next question is, you are giving your personal information, right? Okay, then it will be the obligation on the government to protect that personal information. Means what? Government should not share that personal information with any government agencies or any other agencies. So there is a provision for secrecy of information that has been collected. Which authority involved in this is the census of India takes place under which minister? Ministry of Home Affairs. Who is Minister of Home Affairs right now? It is Motabhai. We all know that is Amit Shah. Okay, now under the ministry of which department is responsible for correcting this? This is Office of Register is responsible for collecting this census, and the census should take place after every 10 years. For every 10 years the census should take place. Okay, this is what the provisions talks about. Now let's see the options. It is obligatory on the part of every citizen to answer the census question truthfully. Correct. Okay, there are also provisions for penalizing for giving false information. Is it there or not? Okay, now how a person, okay, officer or some other person will know that whatever the information is given is truth or not? Okay, how see, someone comes and asks me my information, I may say lie also, right? But for me to say truth, there should be something. Okay, if I say lie, okay, government will punish me. That fear should be there. That fear will come when there is a provision, that is penalizing provision should be there. Okay, otherwise many people will say give the false information. So that's why this is also correct. And maintenance of secrecy is also correct. So answer is D. Coming to the 52nd. Okay, why I have asked this question? Because there is one language called Tulu. We all know Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, right? Aishwarya Rai Bachchan's mother tongue is Tulu. Okay, so the people who are speaking Tulu are demanding that you should make Tulu as a official language, one of the official language in Karnataka. Okay, so the constitution according now, that's why the official language is in use now. The constitution provides that states legislature by law can adopt one or more of the languages in use in the state as the official language of the state. Is it correct or not? Is constitution provides it or not? The constitution provides that the president can direct the language to be officially recognized in the state. Is it provides or not? Definitely you should know here. Actually this one is provided by the constitution, this is also provided. Actually this is particularly article 347. So both are right. So answer is C. And there are many other provisions that you should know, whether the official languages of the state can be used in Supreme Court or not, in High Court or not, in Supreme Court or not. In Supreme Court which language is used. Okay, it is English. And when you're talking about the official language, there is one constitution provisions are there, and Official Language Act 1963 provisions are there. Okay, you should clearly differentiate between these provisions and these provisions. In examination, when UPSC asks, the constitution mentions so on, you should not be thinking that okay, I have read this in Lakshmikant, okay, it should be there. Okay, so you may think it is there in constitution. Again I am saying that whatever it is there in Lakshmikant doesn't mean that everything is in constitution. For example, the governor of state, right, with the previous consent of the president, he can authorize Hindi or other official languages of state for the judgments and degrees and for order passed by the High Court. There is one more provision called that governor of the state, with the previous consent of the president, he can allow Hindi or other official state of other languages, that is official state of official language of the state, can be used for the in the proceedings of the High Court. Okay, in these two provisions which are mentioned in the constitution, which is mentioned in the Official Language Act 1963. Okay, this is mentioned in the constitution. Okay, this is mentioned in the act. Okay, but what if UPSC asks 1 and 2, and which is mentioned in the constitution? Because you have read so much this Lakshmikant polity, and very well you know what all the provisions what are mentioned in the Lakshmikant polity. So you may tend to think that in examination, that too in the tension, you may tend to think that both are in the constitution, because in your brain it is fixed. Polity Lakshmikant is equivalent to the constitution. So you will immediately keep that answer is 1 and 2. Once if you keep, even if you realize the next second also you can't change. Okay, so answer here is, so you should be very careful. Coming to this, answer is C. Okay, the British used the sedition law to convict and sentence Indians. Which among them was first to be prosecuted by this law? Okay, why I have asked this thing? Because sedition is very much in news, and even I have discussed about the sedition. Okay, I think I have discussed 40 minutes when I am discussing editorial. If you didn't watch this video, please go and watch, because it is very important to know. I have discussed in and out of sedition with the Supreme Court judgments and so on, which will help you to write very good mains answer. Okay, coming to here, who is the first person to prosecuted by this? Is it Mahatma Gandhi? No, because Mahatma Gandhi prosecuted, I guess, in 1922. Or 1922, yeah, 1922. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he was prosecuted in 1897, and Jogendra Chandra Bose, 1891. So he is the first guy to be prosecuted under the sedition. Which paper? He was the editor of which paper? Bango Basi newspaper, Bengal newspaper. Okay, coming to the 54th question. with reference to the sixth schedule, consider the following statements. Why I have asked? Because the Naga tribes are asking for the which Naga? Ramja Naga tribes are asking for the autonomous district for them. Okay, so autonomous district means immediately if you heard this word, what you have to remember immediately, you should think as an UPSC aspirant, you should think about the sixth schedule. Okay, who will come under the sixth schedule? AM and PM. What is this PM? It's actually TM. Like this you have to remember. Okay, A means Assam, M is Meghalaya, T means Tripura, and M is Mizoram. Okay, this in these four states, this sixth schedule will be applied. What is there in the sixth schedule? You should definitely know. The governor is empowered to organize and reorganize the autonomous districts. This sixth schedule deals with what? The sixth schedule deals with the administration of autonomous district councils and regional council. Means what? Autonomous district council and regional council is mentioned in the sixth schedule. Means what? It is mentioned in the constitution. Okay, and what is the what you call membership should be in this autonomous district council, that is 30 members. But however, Bodo territorial council members cross 30, that is exception, but according to the constitution 30 members should be there. Does all are elected by the through adult franchise? No. Okay, 26 are elected and 4 are nominated. Imagine if this is a district, autonomous districts, and these are different tribes, these are different tribes. Okay, who has the power to divide this region into two different regions? Is it governor or president? It is governor. So this much you have to remember at least why for answering these type of sixth schedule questions. Okay, coming to this now. Look at the first option. The president provides the power to the governor to organize and is it president? Present? No. It is a constitution, right? Article 44 subclass 2. Okay. So coming to the second option, the constitution provides for the establishment of the autonomous regional council and autonomous district council. Yes, true, because these two terms are mentioned in the sixth schedule, and sixth schedule is where? It is in the constitution only. Okay, so answer is B. This article 44 deals with which part of the constitution? Part 10. And coming to the here I can even say that you would have heard. If you have not heard, I will explain you. Asymmetric federalism. Why Indian federalism is known as asymmetric federalism? If UPSC asks how you will write, definitely you have to quote these schedules, because see some states, what is that? Those states, that is AM and TM. Okay, these four states given a special, in these four states that some districts are getting special powers, right? Okay, that is autonomous district council and regional district council means autonomous regional council means they have the special powers here. So it is asymmetric. Not no other districts in like I take example in states of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, they don't have any other like this special provisions. Those districts doesn't have. When it comes to the states, there are different states, right? Some states will have got special provisions like 371A Nagaland, 371 Nagaland, 371 Maharashtra and Gujarat. Okay, and like that 371B, 371C, 300, like that. So many special provisions are there. Okay, and you can even quote that special state category. Okay, the special state category, now Andhra Pradesh is asking for the special state category, right? Because they will be getting more financial devolution. Means what? They will be getting more funds from the center, or tax exemptions, like that. Special priority will be given. So that's why India is known as a asymmetric federalism. That's it. This is one concept you can remember, because UPSC may ask, what if they ask in essay, you should be in position even to write that. Anyway, coming to the 55th question, which of the following indexes are released by the Economist Intelligence Unit? Okay, see, these type of questions you should definitely remember, because COVID-19 has impacted entire world. Okay, economic wise, when economy is impacted, okay, definitely livelihood will be impacted. Okay, when and more apart from this, because of sedition cases, okay, lack of freedom to speech, okay, so freedom of speech and expression, all these things are issues, right? That's why index, okay, indexes becomes very important now. Okay, because all these things are measured in the index, right? And the ranking will be given according to that. So it should be very important. Like you can take global hunger index, it will be more important because of migrants has been affected. So UPSC may ask anything, you should always remember, because already UPSC asked about the world, what you call that, world economic outlook. It has asked about ease of doing business index. Okay, it has asked about world economic prospect in report, like that. It has asked about many other indexes, so you should be in position to answer if UPSC asks tomorrow. And coming to the this question, the global livability index is released by EIU. This is actually EIU. Okay, and democracy index, yes, EIU. E-readiness index, see, this is very much important, because E-readiness index means what? Based on the capacity of the government to develop e-government services, right? Okay, these things you should always remember about this, because nowadays, at least after COVID-19 now, this e-learning became very much important, and this internet becoming very important, right? So this index also, this ranking is also very important. And quality of life, obviously it is very important. So answer is when this actually releases all these four. So you should remember all these four now. And coming to the 56th question, which among the following will fall under the constitutional discretionary power of the governor? Why suddenly about the governor? Where he is in news? Think, close your eyes and think, he is in news where? What is this? This is Didi, whom you will call Didi in India, Mamata Didi. Okay, because of conflict between West Bengal CM and the governor. That's why he is in news. So here you should know that a governor has discretionary powers. What type of discretionary? Constitutional discretionary and situational discretionary. You should know what will fall under the constitutional discretionary and situational discretionary. By knowing these things, it will not only help you in prelims. If tomorrow UPSC asks, okay, discuss about the discretionary powers of the governor, okay, and controversies involved in that discretionary power, like this, if UPSC asks any type of question like this, how you will be able to write? You should definitely remember, you should clearly that what falls under the constitutional discretionaries and statutory discretionaries. If you write by dividing, if you write like this, the examiner also feels, okay, this guy knows very clearly. Otherwise, if you combine everything and write, it looks like a khichdi. Okay, khichdi doesn't look good. Okay. Anyway, coming to constitutional discretionaries, what all will come? Reserving the bill. Okay, chalo, correct one. Article 210, Article 213. Okay. And what about recommendation of imposition of presidential rule? Yes, it comes. It is discretionary, right? And what about taking actions in discretion with appointment as? Yes, this is also discretion. It is because take example, if Kerala governor, if Kerala governor is appointed as a administrator of Lakshadweep, now Lakshadweep doesn't have any legislative body, right? Assembly. Okay, legislative body or assembly. So he has complete discretionary power to take steps in this regard. So answer is D. Coming to, I'm not going to discuss what are the statutory discretionary powers and constitutional discretionary powers because it is clearly differentiated in the Lakshmikant itself. You can read because it's going to take time. And coming to the consider the following statements regarding fast adaptation and manufacturing of electric vehicle. What is this FAME scheme? Okay, this is the scheme why India has taken, because to reduce the usage of fossil fuels. Why fossil fuels we have to reduce the usage? Because they releases carbon dioxide, means you can say greenhouse gases. To reduce these greenhouse gases, why India have to reduce these greenhouse gases? Because it has taken a pledge, intentional nationally determined contribution. What is this? It is a legal step under the Paris Agreement. Okay, that happened in 2015. Okay, and not only for this, as it is and India is a global leader, as a responsible leader, it had to take steps to reduce the usage of fossil fuels. Okay, and to make our environment sustainable. So, and that is it is environmentally. What about the economically? Because India has depended upon, India is much dependent upon what? This Arab Peninsula for the crude oil. Means what? India is exporting more crude oil. If means importing more oil. If imports are increasing, what happens? The trade deficit will increase, right? If trade deficit increases and burden on the government will increase, means the burden on the public exchequer increases. To reduce, if we convert our automobiles into e-automobiles, definitely the fossil fuels consumption will reduce. So our imports reduces. So the burden will reduces. Okay, that's why government is encouraging these things. And if government encourages e-mobility, okay, what else it will protect? It will protect the health also, right? Okay, health of the humans. We can see the Delhi pollution. When Delhi pollution happens, due to Delhi pollution, what happens? What happening actually? Lungs are affected. Okay, because of the particle matter. If lungs gets affected a lot, when the COVID-19 pandemic like this attacks Delhi, what happens? Already the citizens in Delhi has a poor lung situations, and these COVID-19 will even more make it worst. So the higher impact you can see in Delhi. Okay, anyway, let's come to the what government taken steps. Okay, FAME scheme. What in the FAME scheme? What, see, if government asks to citizens, hey, immediately you shift to the what you call e mobility. Nobody will shift, right? You should give some incentives. You should attract them. Okay, otherwise nobody will shift. And if you don't give incentives, and the production also will not take place because nobody is buying. No, so why the factory owner will increase his production? Okay, that's why incentives are important. So government recently, if you read the news, has given on two-wheelers up to 50% of subsidy on the bike price. Okay, this subsidy is giving, right? Okay, on every bike the subsidy is same or what? No. Okay, the subsidy is decided by the kilowatt. Means what? The battery kilowatt. If the battery is 1 kilowatt, then it will be having one subsidy, take as 100 rupees. If battery is 2 kilowatt battery, then it will be having a subsidy of 200 rupees, like that. Coming to now the options, the government decides the subsidy based on the kilowatt of the vehicle. Yes, correct. The government has also capped the incentives for electric two wheeler at 40% of the cost of vehicle. Correct. The scheme is under the Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises. Correct. So answer is D. Don't, if UPSC gives in this place Ministry of Road and Highways, please don't think it is correct. And coming to the 58, with reference to the Unlawful Activity Prevention Act, which of the following statements is or correct? See, recently it is in news because of High Court has granted granted bail for the students who booked under the UAPA. Okay, and in its judgment also it said that because these students are booked under the terrorist. In the UPA there is one section called section 15. This section 15 deals with the terror activities. Okay, under these students are booked. The High Court said that, see, you cannot book under this act because these terror activities can be defined when the activity goes beyond the ordinary crime. Means what? It goes beyond the enforcement authorities capability. Okay, then only you can term these activities as such activities as terror activities. You cannot term normal ordinary activities as terror activities. Okay, so that's why you should know the provisions of this. It is this activity will apply on Indian citizens and foreign nationals also. Okay, and the charge sheet, if someone is arrested by a police under this act, these police can file a charge sheet within 180 days. This can be even extended by the court order. Okay, for now you remember about 180 days. And coming to these as I told, section 15, this terrorist act is added by the 2004 amendment. And next one is the National Investigation Agency is the authority to grant for seizure of attachment of the property. Okay, this is the authority you should remember. These are the few features that you should remember. Even if UPSC asks in mains to discuss about the features, by remembering these 4 features you can write, because hardly you have to write 4 points. Okay, more than that you cannot write, you won't be having any time. So coming to the options, under this act both national and Indian are charged. Okay, correct. The investigation agencies can file a charge sheet in maximum 180 days. Correct. National Investigation Agency is authorized to grant a approval for seizure. Correct. So answer is D. Coming to the 59th, consider the following statements. The Constitution provide that Parliament should enact Delimitation Act after every census. Is it really provides? Constitution provides or some act provides? You should definitely remember. It is mentioned in the Constitution that the state should be divided into territorial constituencies as per the Delimitation Act. Why actually this delimitation is in use? Because of the Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, the government decided to delimit this Jammu and Kashmir constitution for Lok Sabha and Assembly as elections. Previously, this for the Assembly elections, Indian Delimitation Act will not apply, but the Indian Delimitation Act will apply for the Lok Sabha constituencies in the Jammu and Kashmir, not for the Assembly constituencies. But after the abrogation of this special provision was eliminated after the abrogation of Article 370. Okay, now you tell me whether the constitution provides or not. Yes, it provides. What is that article? This is Article 82. What about the second option? This is Article 170. So both are correct. Answer is C. And one thing I forgot to explain you, that is see, UPSC has the habit of asking, if you remember, I guess in 2017 or 18 2017. Okay, in 2017 UPSC has asked that how many two times the private bill has been no, this is the first time the private bill has been passed. It has asked. Okay, UPSC actually asked this type of questions first time, two time, three time, four time. So you should definitely remember how many times something has happened. This Delimitation Act is a big thing, right, for the democracy. Okay, so you should know that how many times this act has been amended. Okay, this act has been amended, means enacted actually 4 times. That is when they have enacted 1952 and 1963 and 1973 and 2002. That's it. This thing you should remember. Coming to the 68th question, last question. Consider the following statements regarding the Toy-Kathon. See, this is also a word type question. I already explained, I told you why I have asked especially this thing, in 2017 they have asked about the hackathon. Okay, so this is a word type question, this is a word type question. Okay, hackathon and Toy-Kathon. Now the point is, you should know about these type of questions very well. When you see these type of words, you should remember, you should read in detail and you should try to remember. It is a joint initiative of Ministry of Education, MSME, Ministry of MSME and Ministry of Women and Child Development only. It is part of Vocal for Local initiative. It was launched to crowdsource innovative toys and game ideas. So is it only who are the it is joint initiative of Ministry of MHRD. Okay, fine. And another one is MCD. What is this MCD? Women Child Development, Ministry of MSME and Ministry of Information and Broadcasting and All India Council for Technical Education. These 5 bodies launched together this Toy-Kathon. Okay, why is it toys? It is about toy. Okay, why toys is important or what? That much important. You know what? Toys global trade value is $400 billion. In this, you know how much India contributes? I guess $1.8 billion. Very low. India imports more than 80% of toys. Okay, so the government has said that we should develop toys. Consumer goods is very important. One of the important, actually the capital goods are important. Toys also you can say. Anyway, coming to this. So this is wrong. Answer is B. So that's it. So we have covered June current affairs questions. We have covered in June current affairs questions 60 questions. 60 questions means how much? How many? 60 different topics altogether. That too very important topics. Okay, then I have covered these topics very extensively. I have explained you. So if you if you watch my all my current affairs questions videos, that will be more than enough for appearing UPSC prelims. And along with this, if you are following any institute's current affairs monthly magazine, that is also good. Thank you.